hill where all do gather, the Pnyx. You are on the very spot where Athenians of old would flock to hear the most beautiful tongue of this earth, spoken to the greatest people of the world. Tonight, on this hill, we shall revive once more the golden age of Athens.
I salute thee, fair-named Athens, my city. Thy very conquerors engraved on thy portals, here lies the city of Theseus.
Hail to thee, Theseus, O founder of Athens.
After 1,000 and 1,000 and yet 1,000 years, I salute thee with as much joy as on that morn when, rending the chains of exile, I forsook Troezen and discovered thee, Athens, my slumbering goddess crouched in the shadow of the sacred rock.
O Athens, our city, then but a haughty rock, a wave of stone over the barren plain. Now born from the silver sea, a land of marble, a dawn of beauty.
Athenians, listen, listen.
Let Pericles speak. Listen.
The great Pericles, the grave Pericles, Pericles the Olympian, master of self. Fervent and free, the people of Athens, because of his rule, follow the path of glory.
Listen! Listen!
People of this land, sovereign masters of the state, today is the feast of the greater Panathenaea. We shall mount to the Acropolis to revere our gods. Let us offer our goddess her veil, the peplos embroidered by our virgins, and which floats at the mast of the sacred trireme. Let the flute and the lyre players lead the feast, and the procession be as Theseus ordered.
Hear the pontiffs and the wise elders.
And the judges, guardians of right and law.
Here are heroes who bear the mighty scars, heroes of Marathon, Salamis, and Plataea.
They march on, brave and strong.
And like the purest frieze, these advancing gently, the long white cortege of virgins, with their gold baskets in their bare arms.
Here the ambassadors of our allied cities, their hands encumbered with gold and silver gifts.
To these my preference goes. Our athletes, our winners of games, springtide of our fatherland. And those are dauntless horsemen, gripping their neighing horses of Thessaly.
The quadrigi drawn by victory.
The deep mauve of night hath seeped away. The soft dawn of day doth creep its way to the Cephis's banks.
The first flowing rays of sun fondle the sacred trireme as it urges on towards the Propyla.
Undulating its way up the hill as over the crest of waves.
Pallas Athena's veil unfurling at the mast.
That veil, the servitors of Erechtheus, embroidered with such loving care.
Here we stand on the sacred hill with the Panathenaea, on this spur which digs its roots far into the city's flesh. Here on the hill crest which commands the world, before the grave Virgin's temple, already heaven's own mansion.
Pericles will speak.
What does he propose to say to us?
You'll see. He'll spout about Athens.
Hasn't he the right to be proud? See this host of wonders, are they not his?
Aeschylus once told me, when thou hast a heart, a soul, and a mind, thou canst hardly refrain from speaking of Athens without exaggeration.
How could there ever be exaggeration? Is not Athens perfect?
This land, upon which the same race has always dwelt, was bequeathed to us free by our ancestors because of their worth. Our forefathers deserve our praise, yet even more so our fathers. For to this heritage they have added the power we now withhold. Recall the past decades. I speak to ye, elder citizens of this land. Do ye remember?
We do remember, O Pericles, thou son of Xantippus.
We do remember, O Pericles, thou son of Xantippus. We do remember.
We hear you, O messengers.
Pray speak, appease our fear.
Quick, we beg you, quick!
Quickly.
Nay, we have been told to speak only before the Senate of Areopagus.
Pray follow us, we shall lead you there.
The ghost of fear hath clawed the anxious town within its deathly grip.
Couriers, what news do you bring? Good or fatal?
The ruthless king's anger hovers over us. Darius has assembled his forces against all who wish to live in freedom.
The cities of Ionia have been burned to ashes.
The traitor Hippias, that tyrant we had exiled, is now leading the enemy to our Attic shores.
Behind the Pentelicon, the mercenaries of Xerxes the Persian have crowded the sandy beaches. There where Theseus slayed the monstrous bull in the village of Marathon.
Marathon, but a 2-day walk from here.
Messengers, you may take your rest. Leave to us the choosing of our duty.
The mightiest must lead our men.
The mightiest. Miltiades and Aristides.
Aristides and Themistocles.
Athenians,
We hear you, Pericles.
I leave to thee, Herodotus, the task of recounting the battle, for thy speech is melodious and crystal clear. Thou speakest the very tongue of Clio.
When the planning of the battle was settled, and the augury given by the victims deemed favorable, the Athenians attacked. The distance which separates the two armies is of at least 8 stadia. The Persians consider this meager handful of men so eager to fight reckless, lacking as they do cavalry and archers. But the Athenians' courage is stupendous. At the center, the barbarians rend our phalanx and pursue our men. But at the wings we resist and soon force the opponents to flee. We form our ranks again and attack the barbarian columns who burst their way through the heart of our army.
And during that time, anguish befell our city.
Alas, alas, will ye suffer, O gods, the daughters of Athens, to cringe beneath barbarian rule?
Athenians! I see a man yonder, who stirs as he runs the valley dust. He is hastening to the city.
Is he Athenian?
Does he come from the battlefield?
Ah, Pallas, come to our aid!
Theseus, protect us! His attire is not of a courier. He wears a helmet and clasps a sword.
One of our soldiers?
Does he bring victory or servitude?
Victory!
And for ages to come will be heard at dusk the neighing horses and the clang of arms of Marathon's battlefields.
Yet war had not ended, and Athens was not to slumber in delusive peace. One man knew this, Themistocles.
I have summoned you to the Pnyx, Athenians.
We are listening, O Themistocles, we are listening.
Athenians, yes, Darius is dead. But do you know Xerxes, his ire and unbounded ambition? And 'tis not of some far distant peril, nor of any fantasy of the mind that I speak. Like marching swarms of battling ants, the troops of Xerxes assembled in Cappadocia have crossed Phrygia. In the straits where Europe and Asia meet, between Abydos and Sestos, Xerxes has anchored his vessels and chained them to each other. At first, the angry sea rent the chains and scattered the pontoons. Drunk with rage, Xerxes did not fear to lash the waves of the sacred Hellespont, nor to defile the Bosphorus, where a god doth flow. And soon you will see bursting forth from the mountains that army which Asia poureth out on Europe.
May the gods help us.
The gods will help you, if you help yourselves.
Alas, what can we do against this vulgar herd which swamps our soil?
Foresee all, and fear naught. I have sent a messenger to question the Pythoness.
Oh, unfortunate souls! Why lay you at rest? Flee to far distant lands, abandon your dwelling, forsake the high crests of your circle-like city. You will find refuge only in the shelter of walls of wood.
Her meaning is plain. Let us build portals.
And put up stockades.
And towers of wood. And with the goddess' help we shall resist. Is this not true, Themistocles?
Aye! The goddess shall defend her people, albeit not as you hope.
What does this mean?
We need not raise these wooden walls the Pythoness spoke of. Nay, for 10 years we have built them. Those very hulls and boards of our vessels anchored at the Piraeus hold our fate.
Folly, Themistocles, 'tis folly. Thou distortest the spirit of the prophecy.
Death doth Themistocles deserve.
Say what thou wilt, yet listen to me. We must flee from slavery. We must abandon our city. To our ships! To our ships, I say!
'Tis here we will fight our foes. We have the knowledge of age. Here on the Acropolis we shall fight. We, the wise of long-lived years, from our walls of wood we shall fight. From here, from here, from here.
Our faith is thine, Themistocles. With thee we go to sea. Leave the Acropolis to the aging fools, for Herodes' fate will be fought on the sea, on the sea, on the sea.
We will guard the Acropolis till death smothers us in its ruins.